If you want to just find a comfortable seat, whatever that means to you, you can sit up on a block, on a blanket, on a pillow. You can sit up on your mat or on the floor, whatever you'd like. Just really feel rooted down. Feel those sit bones pressing into whatever surface you're sitting on. You can even kind of lean your weight into one sit bone, then the other. Just kind of get a feel, maybe all around. You can place your hands on your knees, palms down or palms up, either way is fine. And just close your eyes or lower your gaze slightly. And while you're here, just settling into your position and feeling rooted down into the ground, go ahead and pull up from the crown of your head. Make that spine nice and long. Maybe you can tilt your chin a little bit lower if you're gazing up at the sky. Maybe you can bring your chin not all the way down to the chest, just maybe reaching for the chest a little. Breathe here nice and long and tall in your spine. Check in with your jaw. Check in with your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension anywhere. Melt the shoulders down your back. And just breathe. I'm going to talk a little about radical self-love. I was doing research for class, and it is a corn moon tonight. There's a full moon, a full corn moon. I highly recommend going and seeing it if you can. It's supposed to be very bright. I don't know how bright with being in the city, but we'll see. So not only is it a full corn moon, it's also a full moon in Pisces. And in a full moon in Pisces, we ask to be reminded to have compassion for ourselves and for others. So today we're just going to try to have compassion for ourselves and our bodies and what we are and who we are. And if you're willing, I'd like you to take part in an exercise with me and just identify maybe your least loved, your least favorite attribute, and see if today you can appreciate that a little more. Maybe today we accept our bodies, our personalities, ourselves, just for what they are and what they do for us. I have a silly story, but you guys are all my friends, so I'll tell it to you anyway. I used to obsessively pull out my leg hair. In the past couple years, I just let it grow. And it's not fair because I have like 3 hairs, so I'm not like a big hairy lady. But now I look at my legs and I'm like, how cool is it that you grow hair to help keep me warm? That's so cool. So can you maybe find an attribute, maybe a silver lining? Maybe just turn your idea that you've had for a long time on its ear. Check back in with your jaw. Make sure you're not holding any tension. Let those shoulders melt down your back. And just breathe here, making space for yourself, making space for your body. we'll go into some Nadi Shodhana breath. Placing 2 peace fingers, let's say right hand on the forehead between the eyebrows. Taking the thumb of the right hand, place it over your right nostril. Inhale here through your left. Then close your left nostril with your opposite fingers and exhale out through the right. Inhaling here. Closing off the nostril with the thumb, opening up the other side and exhaling out the left nostril. Inhaling through the left nostril. Closing off that nostril and exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right nostril. Closing off the right, releasing the left and exhaling out the left nostril. Inhaling here. Closing off that nostril, opening up the right nostril and exhaling out. Inhale through the right nostril. Release your fingers, exhale out the left. Inhaling through the left nostril. Close it off, release the right nostril and exhale through the right. Inhaling here. Closing off that nostril, releasing the left and exhaling. Inhaling here. Closing off that nostril, releasing the right and exhaling out through the right. Inhaling here. One more time, we'll exhale out through the left nostril. Inhale. Close that off, release the right nostril and exhale one last exhale out through the right. Release your hand, go ahead and breathe normally. See if you can notice any differences between breathing now and before. You can take a moment to breathe normally. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Release your hands wherever they are. We'll start just by inhaling our arms up into the air. Exhale, melt the shoulders down the back, reach those shoulders down. Inhale, reach your fingers up a little higher. Maybe spread those fingers out. Reach the fingertips high. Breathing all the way. And then pressing both sit bones down into the mat. Go ahead and reach over to the right side. Put the right hand onto the mat and reach the left arm over top. See if you can do the same thing here and melt the shoulder down the back and reach with the hand. Feeling both sit bones pressing into the mat. You can shine your chest towards the ceiling if you'd like. And just breathe here. Maybe on your next exhale, you dip a little bit lower into your stretch. One more exhale. And then we'll inhale all the way back center. Same action, melt those shoulder blades down the back, reach high with the hands. And then exhale down to the left side, placing the left hand on the mat and reaching the right arm over top. Pressing down in both sit bones, equal weight. Push that shoulder down the back, reach with your fingertips. See if you can shine your chest towards the ceiling a bit. And on your next exhale, maybe reach a little bit lower. Do one more exhale. And then inhale, back center. Same motion, melt those shoulders down the back, reach your fingertips tall. And on your next exhale, we'll just fold forward, nice and gentle, no reason to reach too far. You can round in your back here. Check in with your tailbone. See if you can shift that tailbone down. See if you can make a cat spine in your low back, reaching that tailbone long. Check in with your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension. You can release your head down gently if you'd like. Maybe nod your head a little bit, shake it a little bit. Make sure you're not holding any tension there. And then maybe on your next exhale, you walk your fingertips a little bit more forward and fold a little bit deeper. On your next inhale, you can crawl your hands back to center. Put your hands on your hips, shift your palms back behind you and reach those elbows back. Nice and straight back behind you. From here, you can always slightly tip your neck back and your chin up, shining your chest towards the ceiling. Just breathe here in a baby camel, pushing into the ground with the sit bones. And on your next inhale, reach that head forward again. Release your hands down, give your arms a little shake. And we'll inhale the arms back up into the air. Exhale, bend your right arm, pushing the left hand onto the right elbow. Reach that hand down the back. If you're happy here, stay. If you'd like to release your arm, you can go into the bind, reaching back behind you for your opposite hand, grabbing onto your t-shirt or your hand, whatever you can reach. Breathing here. And on your next exhale, release that lower arm. You can release that bent elbow as well. And inhale the arms back up to center. Exhaling, melting those shoulders down the back. Bend the left arm now. Right hand on the left elbow, pressing that hand back down the back. If you're happy here, stay. If not, you can release into the bind, reaching for that hand behind you. Maybe you reach better on this side, maybe worse. Bodies are different. They're not symmetrical, even though we pretend they are. And release that lower arm from the bind. Release your upper arm. Give your arms a little shake. And we'll inhale our arms back up. And exhale, hand on knee. We'll twist to the right, placing the right hand behind. Inhaling the spine nice and long. Exhaling, twisting towards the back. Inhaling for a long spine. Exhaling, twisting towards the back. Inhale, spine long. Exhale, twist. And on your next inhale, you can come over to a counter twist on the other side. And exhale, back center. Inhale your arms up again. And we'll twist to the left. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind you. Inhaling up for a nice long spine. Exhaling, twisting back behind you. Inhaling tall. Exhaling, twisting. Inhaling tall. Exhaling, twist. One more time, inhaling long. Exhale, twist to the back. You can inhale, come to a nice little counter twist on the other side, and exhale back center. Inhale your arms up one more time. This time exhale to cartoon cactus arms. And breathe here. Check in with your ribs. If they're popping out, pop them back in. And then exhale, see if you can pull your elbows back a little bit. Inhale here, exhale, pull those elbows toward each other back behind you. Try to keep your hands in line with your elbows. You can feel those rhomboids screaming in between your shoulder blades. You're doing it right. If you can't, you're still doing it right, I promise. And just breathe here. Exhale, straighten those arms out to the side, bring them forward so you're in a T. And we'll do Eagle Wrap arms. We'll take the right arm underneath, crossing at the elbows, then the forearms, then the hands. Palms can be together or back of the hands together, whichever you can reach, whatever's more comfortable. And just breathe here. Other option is, of course, just to hug your arms together, whichever you prefer, and give yourself a big hug. If that's a little easier. See if you can melt those shoulder blades down the back here. And then release your hands, release your elbows, give yourself a little shake out. We'll come to a big T again. This time we'll do left elbow underneath right. We'll cross at the elbows, forearms, and palms, or back of the hands together, whatever's more comfortable for you. Breathing here. Option to hug your shoulders around if you prefer. Exhaling, melting those shoulders down the back. Breathing here. And on your next exhale, you can release your hands, release your elbows, give yourself a little shake out, and we'll come to a tabletop position on your mat. Wrists underneath, shoulders, knees underneath, hips, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. We're going to do a nice gentle ankle stretch, straighten out those toes. You can come up onto your fingertips if you'd like, or just press your palms into the ground, whichever you prefer. We're just going to lift those knees a couple inches off the ground. And breathe here, pulling that belly button towards the spine, relaxing in the shoulders, relaxing in the glutes. Exhale back down to the mat. Feel the tops of the feet pressing into the mat. We'll go into cat-cows, starting by dropping your udder down, shining that chest forward, inhaling for cow. Exhaling, rounding in the back, pulling the belly button towards the spine, releasing in the glutes, cat pose. Inhale for cow, udder down, chest forward, nice arch in the back. Rounding of the spine, pulling the belly button towards the back. Make sure you're not holding any tension in your neck for cat. Inhaling for cow, exhaling for cat. Inhale, cow. Exhaling for cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. You can continue this movement at your own breath and your own pace, waking up the spine. You can introduce any other natural movements. You can come down to a child's pose. You can make S and C curve shapes in your spine. See if you can link your breath to your movements. An option to come up onto tucked toes for cat pose, and back down to the tops of the feet for cow. Getting the whole body involved in the motion. And when you're ready, you can come to a neutral spine. And we'll lift the left arm into the air for a gentle twist. Check in with your hips, make sure they're still square to the mat. And then on your next exhale, we'll thread that arm through, placing the outer edge of the shoulder onto the mat and the outer edge of the face. You can walk that top arm out further if you'd like. Option here to extend that right leg back. Come up onto the ball of your foot for a nice full body stretch. Exhaling that knee back down. If you lifted it, you can bring your hand back to underneath your shoulder. Press into the mat. Reach tall again for a twist. And exhale your hand back down to the mat. Inhale the right arm in the air, checking in with the hips, making sure they're square to the mat. Reaching up for that twist. Exhaling underneath, threading that needle through. Pressing that outer edge of the face and shoulder against the mat, walking this hand back. Breathing here. Option to extend that left leg back, coming onto the ball of your foot. Exhaling the knee back down, bringing that left hand in, pressing into the mat, reaching up with the right arm again, nice long stretch. Exhaling your hand back down to the mat. Pressing those knees into the mat, pressing the tops of the feet in. We'll take the left leg back behind you. You can tuck those toes under, give your calf a nice little reach, nice little stretch, nice long leg. Then you can lift that leg up in the air so it's parallel to the mat. Make sure you aren't shifting all of your weight into your bent knee. Make sure you have a nice straight hips right now. Ooh, try not to dip that leg down like I am. Make sure your hips are nice and square to the mat. You're not leaning over to one side or the other. Nice equal pressure in your hands. Breathe and pull that heel back behind you. Check in with your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension here. And pulling that belly button towards the spine so you can reach that opposite arm out in front of you. Pressing the top of the right foot into the mat for stability. Gripping with your left hand. Exhale, round in the back, bring that elbow towards the knee. Inhale, nice and long again, pulling that heel back, pulling that hand forward. Exhale, rounding in the back, bringing that elbow towards the knee in the midline of the body. Inhaling nice and long. Exhaling, coming together again, pulling that elbow towards the knee. Inhale long, and exhale, place your hand and leg back onto the mat. Pressing that left foot into the mat, top of the foot, nice and straight. Let's reach that right foot back behind. Tuck the toes, reach into that calf, nice long calf, nice big stretch. Lift that leg up in the air so it's parallel to the mat. Make sure you're not ducking into your left side too much. You're still even weight in both hands. Pressing into that right hand, you can lift the left hand into the air. Pressing into the top of that back foot. Reaching back with your foot, reaching forward with your arm. Exhale, bring that elbow towards the knee. Inhale, nice and long. Exhale, rounding in the back, bringing the elbow and the knee together in the midpoint of the body. Inhaling long. Exhaling, elbow to knee one more time. Inhaling long. And then we can exhale, place the hand and knee back onto the mat. No. Okay. Pressing into your hands, you can tuck your toes under and press yourself back into downward facing dog. Breathing here in down dog. You can pedal out through your feet, gently or quickly, whatever you prefer. You can let that movement grow from just your feet to your hips, maybe your whole body. It'll wake up all your senses. When you're ready to come into stillness, inhale up onto the balls of your feet and exhale back down, reaching those heels down towards the mat. They don't have to reach. Just yearn for it. Breathing here. On your next inhale, we'll roll forward to plank pose. Check your stance. And then we'll exhale back into downward facing dog. Heels reaching towards the ground. Breathing here. Take the right leg. First things first, put the top of the foot onto the mat. Give yourself a nice little toe and ankle stretch. And then we'll lift the leg into the air for a three-legged dog. Nice long leg reaching towards the sky. Bend your knee, bring that heel close to your bum, and open up your hips. On your next exhale, bring that foot in between your hands. Help it if you need. So we're in a low lunge with the right foot in front. From here, we're going to come into a twist. So you have your option to drop that back knee, release the toes, and come into a half Anjaneyasana, where you bring your hands to heart center, hook that elbow on the knee, and twist that way. Ah! I can't balance either way. So this is your option one. Option two is to come in from your low lunge, up into high lunge, hands at heart center, and then we tuck the elbow and come into the twist. Make sure you have furniture around. This is a very dangerous place. Pulling in at the midpoint, pulling that belly button towards the spine, pulling into the root chakra, pushing the elbow against the knee, and twist here. On your next exhale, you can release your hands to the mat. Kick that right foot back behind. Come into your downward facing dog again. And we'll inhale that left leg into the air for a three-legged dog. Nope, exhale the top of the foot onto the mat. And we'll do a nice little ankle stretch. Nice little top of the foot and toe stretch. Feel like I got a little ballerina leg here going on. And then let's inhale that foot up in the air. Exhale, bend that knee, pull the heel towards the bum. Open up those hips. Breathing here. And on your next exhale, let's take that left foot, bring it in between your hands. So you're in a low lunge on the left side. Option here to drop that back knee down. Come up for a half Anjaneyasana. Hands at heart center. Tuck that elbow against the knee. And reach over for a twist. Option 2 here. To be in your low lunge. Coming into your high lunge. Hands at heart center. Hooking that elbow around your knee. Then. Breathing here. Pushing your hands against each other, you can leverage your chest so you're twisting a little bit deeper. And on your next exhale, you can drop your hands back to the mat. Kick that left leg back to meet the right, so you're in a downward facing dog. Breathing here in down dog. Your hips a little shake, feet a little pedal out. And we'll walk our hands back to our feet. Or feet up to our hands, whatever you prefer. So you're in a forward fold on your mat. Breathing here in your forward fold. Knees can be bent as deeply or straightened out as much as you'd like. You can pull that belly button towards the spine, maybe for a little bit more space. Exhaling out. Check in with the back of your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension there. You can nod your head yes, you can shake your head no. But you don't have to fold too deeply yet. Just breathe here. See if you can sway from side to side, feeling all four corners of the feet pressing down into the earth. See if you can inhale your toes up into the air, nice and long, stretching. And then exhale, press them back down in the mat, gripping onto the ground. Place your hands on your shins. Inhale for a nice long flat back. And then from here, pull that belly button towards the spine and exhale as deeply and fold forward as deeply as you can. You can bend your knees here deeply for a little more stability if you'd like. Option to grab opposite elbows here and just hang. Maybe you sway back and forth. Maybe you sway forward and back. Release your hands. Heel toe your feet so that your toes are together and your heels are about an inch apart. Bend your knees nice and deep, resting your chest onto your thighs. See if you can feel it right in here. Then reach your hands out in front. We'll inhale up to chair pose. Exhale, drop that bum a little deeper. Inhaling here. Exhale, bend those knees a little bit more. Make sure your knees are not touching. And then exhale, fold all the way forward. Release everything, let it all go. And roll up to stand. Okay. starting at the front of your mat. You can walk to the front if you'd like, if you're still in the back. We'll start in mountain pose, pressing all four corners of the feet into the mat. Feet are hips width distance apart. Hips are right over ankles. Inhale those arms up. Again, melt those shoulders down the back. Inhale those hands reaching towards the sky. And then exhale, fold forward. Hands on shins. Inhale, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands. We'll take the right leg back behind us. Then the left leg back behind. Plank pose. From here, you can lower your knees, chest and chin to a low cobra. And exhale back into downward facing dog. Breathing here in down dog. We'll take that right leg up in the air again. Exhale your hands through your feet to your hands. And then we'll bring this back leg up to meet the front. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, nice long flat back. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, coming up to stand. Standing in mountain pose, inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, bring your left foot back behind you. Right foot to meet it, plank pose. Exhale your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for a low cobra. Exhaling, pressing back into downward facing dog. Breathing in down dog. On your next inhale, we'll lift the left leg in the air, bend that knee. Exhale that foot through to meet your hands. And then you can go ahead and bring that back leg up to meet the front. Forward fold. Hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale all the way back up to stand. Nice. Give yourself a little shake out. Inhale those arms up. Exhale those shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, fingers reaching towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, bring your right leg back behind you. This time pause in a low lunge. You know how I love to check in with the low lunge, so we'll stay here for just a second. Drop that back knee down, release your feet. Press the tops of the toes onto the mat, and we'll inhale our arms up for Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll go ahead and hook the elbow around the knee for a nice gentle twist here. Pressing that back foot into the mat with the top of the foot, pulling in at your midpoint, pulling that belly button towards the spine should help you balance. Pressing that elbow against the knee, your left hand against your right hand, you should be able to leverage your body over for a bit more of a twist. On your next inhale, we'll come back to center. You can release your hands back to the mat. Tuck those back toes under, so we're in a low lunge again. We'll bring the left leg back to meet the right. Ooh. So we're in a downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank, lower your knees, chest and chin. Come into a low cobra and press back into downward facing dog. Breathing here. This time we'll bring the right leg into the air, reaching back for three-legged dog. Exhaling, bending that knee and bring the foot in between the hands. So we're in a low lunge on the other side. Breathing here for a moment. We'll lower that back leg, release the top of the foot down onto the mat and grip nice and tight. And then we'll inhale up for Anjaneyasana, hands above our head, gazing at the thumbs. Exhaling, bringing those hands to heart center. Now you can come forward and we'll grip the elbow to the knee, pushing over and against the knee with your elbow and coming into a twist. Pressing those hands against each other, pressing that elbow against the knee against the elbow, bottom of the right foot against the mat, top of the left foot against the mat. Pulling in at your midpoint, holding that belly button towards the spine, pulling in at Mula Bandha, at the root chakra. Breathing here. And your next exhale, you can come back to heart center. Release your hands down to the mat. We'll tuck the back toes under. Send the right leg back to the back for downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank. Lower your knees, chest and chin to a low cobra. And press back to a downward facing dog. Breathing in down dog. Inhaling the left leg up into the air, three-legged dog, nice long leg. Exhale, bend that knee, bring the heel towards the bum. Breathe here. Then your next exhale, we'll bring that foot in between the hands for a low lunge with the left foot in front. Kicking that right foot up to meet the left, forward fold at the front of your mat. Hands on shins for a nice long flat back. Exhaling here, folding forward. And then inhaling, rolling up to stand. I need a water. I don't have any water. I don't have any water. Okay. Never mind then. All right, give yourself a nice little shake out. What time is it? Okay. Coming into a mountain pose at the front of your mat, pressing those feet into your mat. Lean back and forth, feel all four corners of the foot really connecting to the earth. Inhaling those hands up in the air, melting the shoulder blades down the back. Inhaling those fingertips long. And we'll exhale, fold all the way forward. Hands on shins, inhale, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands and we'll kick that right foot back behind us for a low lunge. Check in with your low lunge, nice right angle in your front knee. Back foot reaching back. Pulling in a Mula Bandha, pulling at the root chakra, pulling that belly button towards the spine. You can definitely move your whole top half of your body around and your bottom half is strong. Dropping that back knee down, we'll inhale up for Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands through heart center. We'll do one quick twist. Inhaling here. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale a nice full breath. We'll exhale the hands back down to the mat. Tuck the back toes under. Inhale that back leg up. And then we'll go ahead and rotate that heel back. And inhale yourself up for a warrior one. Hips are still square towards the front of the mat. Whole body is pointing towards the front of the mat. Arms are up in the air. Front knee is bent. Back leg is nice and strong. Exhale those hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers back behind your back. Reach that fist down. Shine that chest towards the ceiling. Check in with your front knee again. Make sure it's still bent. And on your next exhale, we'll fold forward for humble warrior. Breathing here. Release your hands down to the mat. Go ahead and rotate that back foot so it's pointed towards the front again. We'll kick this front leg back to meet the back so you're in a downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank. Exhale, lowering your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for a low cobra. Exhaling, pressing back into downward facing dog. And breathing here. Lifting that right leg in the air, three-legged dog, nice long legs. Exhale, bend that heel towards the bum. Inhale here. Exhale, sweep that leg forward, help it if you need. Throw in a low lunge on this side. Drop that back knee down, and we'll come into an Anjaneyasana, gazing at the thumbs. Exhaling, hands through heart center. We'll do a nice quick twist, hooking that elbow around the knee. Inhaling here, and exhaling. Inhaling, coming back. Hands, heart center. Go ahead and frame your foot with your hands. Tuck those back toes under, lift that back leg up. Rotate your heel down. And we'll inhale up to warrior one on this side. Front knee is bent at a 90-degree angle. Both hips are pointed towards the front of the mat. Pull in at your core for balance. And on your next exhale, bring those hands back behind you. Interlace your hands behind your back, rear thumb on top. Breathing here. Reaching that fist down, shining that chest forward. Check in with your bent knee. And we'll exhale, folding forward for humble warrior. Nice strong stance here. And breathe. You can exhale your hands down to frame the front foot. We'll kick that foot back to meet the back one and come into a downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank. Exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin to the floor. Inhale up for low cobra. And then exhale, pressing back into downward facing dog. Breathing here in down dog. On your next inhale, lift the left leg in the air, three-legged dog, nice long leg. Exhale, bend that knee, pull the heel toward the bum, sweep that leg out into the front. Breathe here. On your next inhale, bring the back leg to meet the front. So you're in a forward fold at the front of your mat. Hands on your shins, nice long flat back. Exhaling, folding forward. And then inhaling, slowly rolling up until you're in a standing position. All right. Okay. All right, time to great. One more time. Standing in mountain pose at the front of your mat. Inhale those arms up. Melt the shoulder blades down. Reach the hands up in the air. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands on shins. Nice, long, flat back. Exhale, melt down, fold forward. Place your hands and kick that right leg back behind you. So you're in a low lunge with the left leg in front. Rotate that back heel down so it's at a 45-degree angle. And then we're going to rotate our arms all the way up to warrior two. Opening up the hips so they're no longer towards the front of the mat, but towards the side of the mat. Arms are nice and long. Front knee is bent. Outer edge of that back foot is pressing against the mat. Pulling in at your core, pulling in at the root chakra. See if you can hold this balance. Arms reaching in either direction, gaze can be over the front palm. Check in with your glutes, make sure you're not holding any tension unnecessarily. When you're ready, we'll pop that front hand to the sky, reach forward, scoop up as much air as you can, and come into a reverse warrior. Back arms not holding any weights, you can take it off if you'd like. Shining that chest towards the sky, check in with that front knee, make sure it's still bent. Your next exhale, bring your arms into warrior two, arms again, straighten out that front knee. Rotate your hips so they're towards the front of the mat. Reach forward as far as you can with your front fingertips. Drop them down when you can't reach anymore. And come into triangle pose. Breathing here in triangle, reaching through either direction with your arms. Your next inhale will come into warrior two, arms again, bend that front knee, place the forearm on the thigh, and reach the opposite arm over top for side angle pose. Breathing here. Your next exhale, rotate your hands down to the back. We'll walk. So we're in a wide-legged forward fold on the side of the mat. Pressing into the outer edge of each foot. Toes can be pointed in or out, whatever's most comfortable for you. And go ahead and walk those fingertips back behind you to help you fold a little bit deeper. Check in with your neck, make sure you're not holding any tension. And walk those hands back in front of you, maybe come up to fingertips. Come into a nice long flat back here. Imagine there's a string coming from the crown of your head, pulling your spine long. Then we'll exhale, fold forward again, and walk our fingertips over so that they are now at the opposite foot as before. The right foot. Adjust your stance so you can come into a low lunge. The right foot in front, left foot in back. From here, rotate that back heel down so it's at a 45-degree angle. And then we'll cartwheel our arms. Wow. pull in at that belly button, pull in at that root chakra, and then maybe you'll be able to cartwheel your arms up into a warrior two. Arms reaching in either direction. Front knee is bent. Outer edge of that back foot is glued to the mat. Gaze can be over the front pan. Both hands are reaching in either direction. Nice, strong arms. Go ahead and pop that palm up towards the sky. Reach forward and then back for humble warrior. Make sure that front knee is still bent. You're not dropping your weight into that back arm, and reach over. Straighten out that front leg. Adjust your hips so you're now pointed towards the front of the mat. Make nice long warrior two arms. Reach as forward as far as you can, and then when you've reached your edge, go ahead and drop down for triangle pose. Reaching in either direction with your arms. And your next inhale will come with our arms nice and wide again. Bend back through that front knee, bring your forearm to your thigh, and come into a side angle pose. Reaching that arm over top. Shining that chest towards the front and the ceiling. And on your next exhale, you can rotate those arms down, adjust your stance so you're in your wide-legged forward fold at the side of the mat. Breathing here. Option to walk your fingers back behind you to stretch a little deeper. And we'll walk our fingertips back to the front of the mat. And we'll kick that back leg up to meet the front. You're in a forward fold, the front of your mat. Hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, folding forward. And inhaling, rolling up to stand slowly, placing vertebrae on vertebrae. Until you're standing in mountain pose at the front of your mat. All right. So standing here, before we go into our balancing standing poses, just want to do a nice little balancing for the wrist or the ankle stretch that we've been doing. So pressing that right foot into the mat. Make sure all four corners of the foot are gripping the mat. You can even do lifting the toes in the air and pressing them back on. And now that all our weight is in that one foot, we can take this left foot and just tuck the toes underneath. So you kind of got that ballerina foot going on. If you have anything you can grip onto for balance, go right ahead. This is a very precarious pose sometimes. But if you have confidence that your other foot is glued to the mat, you can go ahead and not hold on to anything else. Breathing here. Go ahead and place that foot back down on the mat and see if you can grab all four corners of the foot onto the mat. Lift those toes in the air, press them back down, grip onto that ground. And then we can take that right foot and tuck those back toes so that the top of the foot is pressing against the mat. Giving yourself a little ballerina foot. Grabbing onto something for balance if you'd like. I am. Breathing here. If you're like me and your little toes too little to get in on the stretch, maybe give your ankle a little rotation to the outer edge. That guy in there. All right, when you've had enough of that, you can place both feet onto the mat. Give your ankles a little shake out if you'd like. And we'll come into tree pose. Pressing the right foot into the mat, kickstanding the ankle and the heel together, or bringing that foot against the calf. Final option to press that heel into the inner thigh, pressing the inner thigh into the heel. Hands can be at heart center, on your waist, or blowing in the wind, whichever you prefer. So as long as your foot is not all pressing against your knee, you should be good to go. If you fall out, you can come back in. And when you're ready, you can release those hands, release your foot from your leg, rotate that knee towards the center, kick your foot straight out, lift that heel a little bit more, and then let it go. Give your leg a little shake out, little shake out. Press the feet, press that opposite foot into the mat. You can kickstand that ankle to the heel. You can press the whole foot against the calf, or you can press that heel into your inner thigh, pressing your inner thigh into your heel. Pull in your core, pull that belly button towards the spine. Hands can be at heart center, on your waist, or blowing in the wind like branches in the breeze. And just breathe here. When you're ready, you can release your hands, release your foot from your leg, rotate that knee towards the front, straighten out the leg, lift the heel a little higher, and then a little higher, and then just go ahead and kick out your leg. Okay. Pressing that right leg into the ground, we're gonna bend the knee a bit. Give yourself a nice, strong foundation. Bring the opposite ankle to the knee, bend it a little bit more. Make sure you flex both feet to protect those knee and ankle joints. Check in with your low back. See if you can elongate that tailbone down. Hands to heart center. Bend your knee deeply and fold your body forward. Breathing here. Fall out, no big deal. Come on back in. If you haven't done it in a while and you think it's impossible, that's okay too. Do as I say, not as I do. And when you're ready, you can bring your chest back up, unbend your knee, release that right leg and kick everything out. Release that left leg and kick everything out. Pressing that right leg into the mat, left leg into the mat. Bend your knee, flex both feet and bring that ankle to opposite ankle to the knee. Bend that knee a little more, bring your bum down, fold forward and bring your hands to heart center. Folding forward and bending your knee as much as you like, as much as you're comfortable, as much as you can stay balanced. And when you're ready, you can release your hands, release your arms, give yourself a little kick out. We'll come to mountain pose at the front of your mat. Inhale those arms up in the air, melting the shoulder blades down, reaching the fingertips up. Exhaling, folding forward all the way down. Inhaling, hands at shins, nice long flat back. Exhaling, folding forward. Planting the hands, stepping back so you're in downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg into the air, three-legged dog, nice long leg. Exhale, bend the knee, bring that heel towards the bum. Breathing here, and on your next exhale, we'll sweep the leg forward and come into pigeon pose. Bringing the shin parallel to the front of the mat. Your opposite leg is nice and long behind you. You can give yourself support anywhere you need. And exhale, fold forward, bringing your forehead to the mat or a block or a blanket or your hands. And just breathing here. When you're ready, you can walk your hands back up, lift your chest into the air. Pressing those hands into the mat, tuck those back toes under, lift that back knee off the ground. And pressing into the ground, lift that leg back up into a three-legged dog. Pressing the right leg back to the mat, lift the left leg in the air, nice long three-legged dog. Exhale, bend that knee, bring the heel towards the bum. Inhale here. And on your next exhale, sweep that shin forward so you're in a pigeon on the other side. Breathing here, inhaling your chest up into the air. Exhaling, folding forward. releasing your head down into pigeon. And when you're ready, you can walk those hands back up. Tuck those back toes under, lift that knee off the ground, pressing into the mat, come into a three-legged dog again. Bring that leg back to the mat. Last chance for chaturanga, rolling forward to plank, knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Inhaling forward for a low cobra and pressing back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths in down dog. And on your next inhale, you can roll forward to plank. And exhale, lower your body all the way down, however you feel comfortable. Rolling onto your back. Bringing those knees together. Windshield wiper your legs back and forth. Give your hips a little rest from being in pigeon. And then when you find stillness, press the bottom of the feet into the mat. See if you can graze your heels with the tips of your fingers and press up into bridge pose. You can wiggle those shoulders underneath yourself. You can interlace your fingers behind you. You can imagine there's a block in between your knees that you're pressing up against, pressing down into your feet, and just breathe here in bridge pose. And you can release your hands, release your shoulders, roll your spine back down to the mat. Windshield wiper your knees back and forth. Hug those knees into your chest. Give yourself a little massage, and we'll do a nice light inversion. Just lifting those legs into the air. You can bring your hands to the back of your thighs if you'd like. You can pull your thighs closer towards your body. You can let your legs relax back down. Just let your legs be in the air for a moment. Check in with your glutes. Make sure you're not holding any tension there. Make sure your feet are flexed like you're stomping on the ceiling. You can bend those knees, hug those knees back into your chest. And then you can drop your knees to either side, coming into a twist. One hip and two shoulders are on the mat. Arms can be out in a T. They can be in cartoon cactus arms. One hand can be on your knee, steadying them down. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can always cross that top leg over your bottom. And just breathe here. Checking in with your hips. Can you make them perpendicular to the mat in a nice straight line? On your next inhale, you can bring your knees back to center. Give yourself a little massage, rocking back and forth. And then you can drop your legs to the opposite side. Again, hands can be in a T and cartoon cactus arms. One hand can be on your knees, steadying them. If you'd like to fold a little, or if you'd like a little deeper stretch, you can always cross the top knee over the bottom. On your next inhale, you can bring those knees back to the center, hug them into your chest nice and tight. You can rock back and forth, give yourself a little massage. Then lower those feet back down to the mat, knees are bent. We'll take the right leg over the left, ankle to knee, much like when we were standing earlier. Bend that left leg into your body. Nice, parallel, no, perpendicular. Right angle. Reach through, pull on the back of your thigh, pull that left leg towards you. From here, you can take your right elbow against your right knee and push that knee out away from you. Pulling on one half of your body, both feet are flexed, pushing away on the other half of your body, opening up on your outer hips here, along the back of the thigh and the side. Breathing here. You can always rock back and forth, trying to find a spot. You're not feeling it where you are. And then you can come back to center, release your hands from your thigh, release both feet to the mat, and then left leg over right, flex both feet, lift that right leg in the air, release your hands behind your right thigh and pull it towards you. You can always push out on your left knee with your left elbow, and rock back and forth looking for a spot. And when you're ready, you can come back to center. You can release your hands, release your leg. And come into a happy baby, bending your knee and reaching for the bottoms of your feet. You can rock back and forth. And take whatever variation you'd like. And when you're done with that, you can set yourself up for Shavasana. Nice and comfortable. You can bring your awareness back to your breath. You can start to introduce small movements in your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, you can roll onto one side, using your arm as a pillow, and lay in the fetal position for one breath. And when you're ready, you can use that same slow quality of movement and come into a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to heart center and we'll close with one Om. Inhaling for Om. Namaste.